for this problem, what you want to do is you want to find the trig function of theta. For so in sin, you would find x and y, so you'd find the opposite side and hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always the longest side. For ka, you would find adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent is always the side that is the closest to theta, the angle you're trying to find. And tan toa, so that would be opposite and adjacent, so you would find the two sides that make the right angle, and you would find the opposite first and then the adjacent. It's better to draw a triangle just so that you know like the picture and how to draw the function. So it says sin theta equals 8 over 17, so that's so that means theta, the opposite side, would equal 8, and then the hypotenuse would equal 17. So you have 8 over 17, so you know those, and now you're trying to find the cosine of theta, so it would be adjacent over hypotenuse, so it would be x over 17 because you don't know what x is yet. A simple way to find x, or the side that is missing, is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 8 squared plus x squared, because you don't know what x is, and equals 17 squared. And then you just solve for x, and that is what equals the side. Once you come up with your solution, you can always put it back into the Pythagorean theorem to check it. A boy flying a kite lets out 150 feet of string that makes an angle of 64 degrees with the ground. If the string forms a straight line, how high is the kite above the ground? For the picture, you would just use keywords from the word problem. So the kite is 150 feet of string, and it is 64 degrees with the ground. You know that the 150 is the hypotenuse because that's how long it is, and you're trying to find how high it is above the ground. So you know that 150 is the hypotenuse and 64 degrees is the angle, and you're trying to find x, so then you would use sin theta to find the missing side because it's hypotenuse, it's opposite and hypotenuse. So you're trying to solve for x, so you would times 150 and put it on the other side, so x equals 150 sin 64, and you type that into your calculator. On every calculator, it has the sin, cos, and tan trig functions, so you can always find those, and if you don't find those, you can ask your math teacher where it is. So you put it in just like it is to solve for x. After you enter in the calculator, you should get your answer, and that is the missing side. If you're not sure, you can still use the Pythagorean theorem. Find the angle of elevation of the sun when a 24-foot tree casts a shadow of 36 feet. The key word is that the tree is 24 foot tall and the shadow is 36 feet. So you know that the 36 is the hypotenuse and the 24 is the other side. You're trying to find the angle of elevation. So you would use sin theta because you know the opposite and you know the hypotenuse. So you would just plug that into sin theta, so it'd be 24 over 36. Just like the other one, you would put it into the equation, but this time you're trying to find the angle. So you would put sin -1, and you can use that by hitting the second key and then hitting the sin. And then you would type in the same equation. And you get your answer. So the difference between using the sin negative and just the sin button on the calculator is when you're finding an angle, you use the sin negative. And if you're just finding a side of the thing, you would use just the regular sin button.